Hello, my name is Mitch, and I draw Blood Force. And we are here now, friends, for the end. Not just of the Deathmate series, but of reality itself. We are here for the end of time. Thousands of plot points now converge on this moment. Every soul in the Deathmate universe has their small but pivotal part to play on this, the grandest of stages. Galaxies and nebulae rotate in clockwork perfection towards this inevitable, inexorable conclusion. But first, what is Blood Force?
This is Blood Force. Blood Force is a celebration / send-up of 90s extreme comics. It's itself a comic book. It's drawn by me and also written by me. It's all me. I'm to blame for this. So you may be asking yourself, how do I go about reading Blood Force? And the answer is you open up the description to this video. In there you'll find a link to my Patreon. Subscribe there. That will give you access to all of the Blood Force pages. It'll also give you access to all the process stuff. I usually include stuff like just pencils lying out there. You'll get all the videos. You'll also get some pre-Blood Force stuff. All this just for $3 American. It's an absolute steal. And of course, the more subscribers we get, the closer we get to the goal of publishing Blood Force. But that's a ways off. First thing we got to do, baby steps, is we need subscribers first. So subscribe today. Read some Blood Force comics, help get Blood Force out on those shelves, and this certainly sounded like I had a third thing to say, but I don't. I really don't have the microphone for that kind of tirade. I apologize. I'll try and keep the volume down in the mix. But we are here now, as I said, for the finale of Deathmate, the epilogue. It's not really an epilogue. Epilogue would be after the climax. This is the climax. Anyway, they don't know what to call things. That's okay. So this is what everything has been leading up to. Kind of. These are all of the characters in this story. You think about all the issues we've seen before now. And we started with a montage, like so. Kind of kept it as a theme for some of the issues. And you think about all these characters that have been involved in this series. And then, the Image guys kind of did their own thing, because naturally, why wouldn't they? And we could really only get 7 people at the finale. 2 of them were already there. So, really just the 5. It's the 4 who were there at the end of Deathmate Blue and Union. But that is a very nice cover. It was cool at least that they had Joe Quesada to unleash on the end of this thing. That's all right. So, let's take a look. This is a little bit less expensive than the other issues, although it's about the same price as the prologue. But the usual issues were $6.25, while this was $3.75. It is a bit shorter than the other ones, although more happens in this than in either the black or red editions. So let's see what how they sum this up. So, in a world that had long since become a terrible place, Solar reluctantly granted the wish of his lifelong companion, Gale, to dissipate the energy that had kept her alive and young for so long. Unable to contain his grief over her death, Solar literally split himself in 2. The remaining Solar vanished into a life of seclusion, while the new persona went off to find other planes of reality to explore. There, in a place beyond reality, man, we've already seen all of this stuff. Isn't there going to be something new here? Jeff the Geomancer and Prophet know that all was not as it should be. Yeah, we've heard that. A wave of destruction approached from the future to destroy the present. Okay. Jeff and Prophet gathered heroes from across the land. Did they now? Now 2 of them, Solar and Supreme. See, this makes it sound like there were dozens of heroes that were gathered over the course of this epic journey. And they kind of fell by the wayside one by one, and they'd get more of them, and then more of them would fall off, and then these guys were the brave last men standing. These were the only guys that were gathered, if we recall. Have crossed the chasm of time to restore their timelines. Joined by the insidious Master Dark and Dr. Eclipse, this unholy alliance of good and evil may be Earth's last hope. And what of the mysterious being known as Union? Oblivious to all else, Solar must bear a single-minded obsession to stop his other persona from experiencing the love that could end all time. They love that tagline. Not one of them has yet been able to explain it or define it. So, and again, this is not some unholy alliance that was, that has been slowly kind of interlocking, and they've been gaining their trust. And there was a misstep here and there where they slipped back into their old ways, but now they're reasonably on firm ground. But no, they all met up in Alberta at an oil spill or an oil fire, and decided, we should all go to unreality together. And he went, no, and he went, come on, and he went, okay. So this is going to be written by Bob Layton, drawn, and the first part here is drawn by Mark Silvestri. So that's pretty good. All right, so we're here now in unreality, and we get a little bit of information here and there. We get some pretty cool artwork, too, from Mark Silvestri. He's not really phoning this in. We get like 10 pages worth out of it. That's all right. Considering that he also contributed those 6 to Deathmate Black, that's about as much as we could have hoped for from him, I think. So, unreality, he didn't put a ton of creativity into this. The coloring change is interesting. I don't think this is faded. It appears as though it is. So it's my copy that's fucked up. Okay, this is what it should look like. Interesting. That almost would have been an interesting color choice if it, changed in intensity. But no, I guess this got displayed or something. I don't know. That's weird. Yeah, colors seem fine there. All right. So they apparently need Master Dark to navigate through unreality to where Cool Guy Solar and Void are going to meet up and smooch. And on their way there, they encounter Union, who is a being of great power. I don't think he's been explored much at all in the Image universe leading up to this. So, Union number 1, scheduled for June of 1993. The Deathmate Epilogue, was scheduled for February. Now, I think we can assume that it was probably pushed back a couple of months to try and accommodate for Deathmate Black, and maybe see if Rob could get his shit together for Deathmate Red, and eventually just decided, no, he can't. So, I think this may be... Deathmate Black might be the first appearance of Union. So everything online seems to think that Union's first appearance is in Union number 1. Oh, sorry, Union. I'd hate to mispronounce it. So, considering that Deathmate Black is considered the... Because, there's that second where you're like, well, maybe they don't count this because it's alternate universe. Deathmate Black is considered the first appearance of Gen 13. So it sounds like it might also be the first appearance of Union. Unless it got pushed back so far as to be released after June of 93. But this is right around the same time anyway. Nobody really knew what the hell his deal was. He seems to be kind of like a little kind of Silver Surfer-y, really. Like power cosmic, maybe big old guilt complex. Who really knows there? Something about it, him being alien. Master Dark determines that they wouldn't be able to kill him if they tried. Union is mostly going to sit back and take an observant role, which doesn't work for Dark's plans, really. Imagine that. And we get some more pretty cool shots here. Very well defined Union ass. And now we're cutting back to the prologue, really. We're going to get kind of a redone version of it up until here. A little bit truncated, but not very much, really. That was kind of a short book anyway. So they're about to do their smooch fest when our heroes show up, and Solar's going to go have a talk with Solar. Which is, I think, correct. This is the right way to go. Because what exactly can they do? They can try and talk to them, or they can try and kill them, or they can try and do something that keeps them from coming near each other. That's kind of it, really, I suppose. So, since they haven't said anything about trying to do anything to change reality in any way so that they can't actually touch, he's going to try talking to him, which is good. So we get a bit of the explanation for why the Deathmate convergence is happening. So she's not of our universe. Her energies aren't compatible with yours. We've seen the result of its merging. It's catastrophic. So kind of what I figured, where just their energies don't, matter from one universe touching matter from another, or energy from one universe touching energy from another. And probably the amount of power in each of them amplifies the effect. Right? And Cool Guy Solar's response is not bad, actually. He says he's from the past and how everything has changed everything. He's like, if you're from the past, why don't I remember this meeting? I mean, alternate reality, but that is, that is kind of a point in his favor. You're allied with Dark Eclipse. This must be a trick of some sort. That's actually a pretty good observation. Dark was the embodiment of evil. And then it all kind of falls apart anyway, because he says, I've longed my whole, even if what you're saying is true, it wouldn't matter. I've longed my whole life for a mate such as Void. God help me, but I don't care about the consequences. And while that's unreasonable, you get the impression this version of Solar is an unreasonable character. I mean, look at him. He rolls up the sleeves of his leather jacket. Who would even do such a thing? And nice, cool shots. This kind of stuff looks very solid. So, Cool Guy Solar is going to absorb Hero Solar, because Hero Solar was weakened by his trip into unreality. Now, I would think Cool Guy Solar would also have been weakened by his trip into, but that's not really addressed, and maybe just the fact that he got the jump on him by initiating the absorption. His timing was off, or he wasn't quite ready to put up a defense. And anyway, cool shot, cool attack. Interesting way the story unfurled there. And this all works in Dark's favor. And Union has some admonishments for Dark, saying, I can see right through you. You want the Deathmate convergence to occur. And Dark's, his off-the-cuff reply seems to be, our world is doomed, and their emerging will create a more harmonious reality. And I prefer that one. And Union is like, no, you will destroy both universes. And which is enough uncertainty. Like, I guess that's really what Dark's going for here, is just to create uncertainty within Void, where she doesn't know what to do and is willing to go ahead and destroy both universes. So, Union points out to Supreme that, and he still hasn't done anything yet. I don't think he does much of anything over the course of this. He's kind of got that eternity feeling, actually, thinking about it. Send Supreme to kill, stop him, to kill Cool Guy Solar. Stop him, destroy him if you must, but stop him. And Supreme's like, considering the circumstances, sure, I'll take orders from you. And Dr. Eclipse is sent by Master Dark to go and kill Supreme. And this entire chapter was lettered by Chris Eliopoulos, and we didn't see one crack thackadoom. And that is just the saddest thing. I suppose he probably designed this, which looks fine. But like, no sound effects whatsoever. That's so disappointing. Ah, well. Got some Exo, got some Cyberforce, a bunch of ads. Why not? Everyone's gonna check out this one, right? At the very least, everyone's gonna check out. Well, a bunch of people are gonna check out the prologue. A bunch of people are gonna check out Black, and everyone who has even a modicum of interest is gonna check out the epilogue to see how it all finishes up. So you get your ad for Codename Strikeforce in there. How did Silvestri get 3 ads in this thing? And then Stormwatch. We care about Stormwatch. Alright. And now we move on to the Joe Quesada section of the script. Still by Bob Layton. Scott Williams doing the inks. So, this would be interesting for Joe Quesada, because I don't think he's had anybody this good inking his stuff before. Alright, so we're here now at the end. Supreme has to go and confront Cool Guy Solar, but Dr. Eclipse is being sent to stand in his way. And so we get some platitudes thrown at each other. Not as bad as some Eric Stevenson Battlestone platitudes, unfortunately. That would make this a bit more fun, I suppose. But it's all right. We're going to get some great Joe Quesada artwork to look at. So he says, I'm only going to say this once, shut up. And it gives him a big old punch that does absolutely nothing. So I'm not sure what the point of Brand Supreme long was, really. Although they had to have somebody from Image there, I suppose. And these are some great bits. You know, the punching him apart, him reforming immediately and becoming like sticky goo. And Supreme tells him to shut up again, and Dr. Eclipse calls him a fibber. And friggin' stabs him through the eye. And that is pretty, you can kind of feel that. Just a thunk right through him. And all this liquid stuff looks fantastic. Where it's like where he's all like zooping around. And he says, you know, it's the end of the universe. Don't worry, you won't be missed. I think Joe Q was a little bit older when he broke into comics. He was in like his late 20s, mid to late 20s. And started a little bit at DC not too long before this, before moving on to Valiant. But you figure he hasn't been working in comics for very long at this point. No, it looks like he was hired by DC in 1990, so just 3 years before this. And his first stuff is like unrecognizable, as it tends to be, because you're just learning the ropes of having to do how to do, you know, panel to panel work. But he picked it up really quick and became like one of the premier artists. And I would say at this point he's as good as anybody. And he still has a little better to get. So, Union is upset that the Supreme is dead. And he goes to confront Dark to find out what the hell the point was of all this. And Dark explains to him that he runs on necromantic energy. Necromantic energy is energy released when something dies, apparently. And so he absorbs that. So he will be there for the death of two universes. He will shield himself with Dr. Eclipse, and he will absorb the energy from the deaths of two universes, and thus become God, essentially. So now Union is finally going to do something. He was all content to sit back and watch the proceedings and be impartial right up until the good guys were about to lose. Like, no, now I have to take action. You know what? If you'd taken action a bit before now, you might not have gotten to this point. So he stands in Solar's way, who's going back towards Void, which, yeah, again, pointing out, Void heard all this shit, so she knows what the repercussions are going to be of her merging with Solar, but she's still down. And Union goes and he shoots Cool Guy Solar with something that releases Hero Solar. And this shot is just kind of classic, where he springs out of Cool Guy Solar's brain. But just the stretching is so good. He does this fluidity like very few people can pull off. Like, I wish I could get this on mine, but like, you know, it's not really the worst thing to say. You can't do fluid motion the way Joe Q can. So, Master Dark's response is to resurrect Supreme and send him against Union and Solar, and keep them occupied so that Cool Guy Solar and Void can merge. So that's what Union and Solar are kind of stuck doing when the Deathmate convergence occurs, is they're stuck shooting at Solar. And here's Dark going into his cocoon with Eclipse here. And they got the nice beat effect. Just like get kind of a heartbeat feel for every one of these. Yeah, everything sort of relates to the lower version. So we get different angles of the same shot here. I mean, these are all kind of the same shot, but so more mid-range and from different angles. And we got Supreme just being blown apart in pieces, and all these ones here, and finally dying. And I like this bit here where a piece of Solar kind of zoops out and becomes like a ring. And they're finally able to kill Supreme, but it's too late. So Union proposes that that Solar give him a portion of his energy quickly. So he instructs Solar to become a black hole and absorb the universe. And then after all that happens, he can recall him somehow. Which is nonsensical, but like, what else have you got? You know? And this page is amazing. I can't even imagine drawing this page. There's so much going on here. There's so much design element here, and like everything is actually converging on Solar. Like, not just all the speed lines, not just the panels, but like, I don't know, the motion, and a lot of the lines are actually still directing your eye. And so he absorbs everything in the universe except Union. That's the thing that's nonsensical. So how did he stick around? But whatever. Since this is unreality, he still has the Solar portion. All he has to do is remember Solar, and Solar springs back into existence. And Solar goes, "Who are you?" And he goes, "You don't want to know." I go, "Okay," and they go their separate ways. And that's the end. I mean, you know, there's still a little bit of wrapping up to do, but that's a little bit anticlimactic. And I was thinking before, like, really Solar should do this just about any time he has any kind of problem. You know, if dinner gets burned, just be like, "Ah, shit. All right, time to become a black hole." And just sucks in the entire universe. Just remember to give Union a call first, so he can come by and go, yeah, I remember that guy. Okay, the universe is back where it should be. And we go back to the Wildstorm universe. And Void kind of half recalls, she sensed the death of one of her future selves, which is something I don't think we've really touched on, like a little bit in Wildcats 1, where she had visions of an alternate reality of herself dying. And Union goes, "That's okay. You don't have to worry about that particular one dying. You care to explain what the devil's going on here?" He's like, "In time. In time." So he's going to be like a know-it-all sort of mysterious, all-knowing entity going forwards. Isn't that great? Because we all need one of those. And Jeff the Geomancer in the Valiant universe is stuck remembering the deaths of everybody, and I guess the alternate future that really, really sucked. And he's a little traumatized by it, which I suppose is justified. And for some reason, there's a "Who Watches the Watchmen" graffiti on the wall here. I can't see how that would possibly relate. And that's it. Some more Shadow Man, some more Ninjak, and another random page in my comic where the color faded all to hell. I don't know what the hell is up with that. Or maybe it's a printing error? I'm not sure. This one's probably worth like $10,000. That's got to be how it goes, right? Yep, and that's it. So, I mean, as far as conclusion issues go, that was probably about as good as it was going to get. They finally explained exactly what the problem was. Well, maybe not exactly, but pretty close. They made the stakes seem pretty high. And, well, it's the fate of the universe, right? But, they're killing guys off left and right. And we understand that, most of the people there are trying to make the Deathmate convergence happen. There are some low points, like there is a lowest point moment in here where both Supreme and, well, where Supreme is dead and Solar is, might as well, as far as we know, is dead. And Union's the only one left. Except he just, resurrects his buddy. But still, that's something, and I don't think we were expecting that particular death or for it to be so graphic. So that was a bit of a nice little shock. And of course, the writing is decent, like the dialogue, nothing is grating, and the art's pretty fantastic. So that one is worth getting out of all of these. It might be the only one. Thinking about it, like the only one that's like every, all the way through, it's pretty great. Unless you just want to like laugh at Deathmate Red, because that's fun too. So that's going to do it for the Deathmate series. This was sort of the beginning of the end for the speculator boom, really. Deathmate was, it was hyped up beyond belief, and there were huge orders at first, but this was really sort of the culmination of everything with the Image guys not being able to keep up with deadlines, and this was the first time, I think, that retail stores kind of kicked back, where they're like, fine, you know what, you can't get us the books, go fuck yourself, we're returning our orders. You can resolicit when you're ready, but we're not ordering nearly as much, because the readers aren't interested anymore, and they can't depend on them actually shipping the books. So this does kind of get the ball rolling in the other direction. Comics have been at the highest of highs for the last few years, maybe like 5-6 years, where it's just become like a runaway train, and now where it's just starting to crash, and the crash is gonna keep on going till present day, really. It's never really rolled back the other way again yet, unfortunately. But that's like several videos worth. We don't need to touch on any of that today. Deathmate Epilogue is pretty good. Deathmate series, it's fun to read, and it's very reminiscent of its time. So I think I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notifications, and go over to my Twitter, follow me there. But more importantly, go subscribe on Patreon. That's where all these videos go as soon as I upload them, so you can watch them ahead of time before they come to YouTube. That is where the Blood Force pages are, so that is where you can read the entire Blood Force story to this point. And I need your help to move Blood Force beyond the Patreon so that it can be distributed to other people who aren't giving me money directly. More roundabout. I'm okay with that too. But that'll do it for this one. As I said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Hello, my name is Mitch, and I draw Blood Force. And we are here now, friends, for the end. Not just of the Deathmate series, but of reality itself. We are here for the end of time. Thousands of plot points now converge on this moment. Every soul in the Deathmate universe has their small but pivotal part to play on this, the grandest of stages. Galaxies and nebulae, rotating clockwork perfection towards this inevitable, inexorable conclusion. But first, what is Blood Force?
We're heroes, not zeros. One got what they fear, so here's the